Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody. So great to have you with us today. And in case you're new around here, I am Hillary Buchholz, and I'm here with Patty Quinn.
Hello.
And we are the co-founders of We Heart Hounds. And I'm also very excited because we also have a very special guest with us here.
Yay. OMG. Yes, like this is going to be so much fun today. I've got, for those of you who know Ginger, I've got her. She's like waiting off in the wings because we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. We've got Jason with Enjoya here with us, and we're super excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And hello, We Heart Hounds world.
Well, if for those of you that aren't familiar, it's so fun. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I have one of the fun toys we're going to be talking about today, and my little pup just curled up in a ball underneath the one. So, yeah. So for those of you who don't know Enjoya, Jason and his team are masters at designing these amazing interactive dog toys that do all the things that pet parents want, right? They help burn energy for our pups. They boost our pups' intelligence. And most importantly, they help relieve some of that boredom that we have, for pups that stay at home if it's too hot or too cold or too wet or too stormy, or you've just got other things to do. You're working from home now, right? And you want your pups to be engaged. They make all these amazing dog toys that we're going to get to talk about today. I'm super excited to learn more.
That's great.
Yeah. So it must be so fun to get to kind of create all of these amazing toys and work in such a interesting, coming up with kind of sky's the limit types of ideas for these toys.
Yeah.
If you could tell us a little bit about your team and how you guys started and what the inspiration behind Enjoya is, that would be awesome.
I'd love to. So Enjoya was actually kind of the brainchild of 3 founders, and each one was a pet owner, actually 2 dog owners and 1 cat owner.
Okay.
The 2 dog owners were kind of talking over coffee, and a third kind of joined them. And so they sat down and they were just catching up. They hadn't seen each other for a while, and they were catching up. And then the conversation turned to the issues that they were having with their pets. One of them, their dog, was just eating really fast, and then he would get sick. And another one that was a little colder, and they weren't able to go outside, so they didn't know what they could do to keep their little loved one entertained. The third was a cat owner, and surprisingly, and admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about cats, but when I heard this, I was a little shocked because I thought cats kind of entertain themselves, but apparently that is not the case. So forgive me if you are a cat owner or a cat lover. I just thought cats were really good at taking care of themselves and entertaining themselves, but they get bored too. And so the 3 of them the 3 founders, came together and said, well, what can we do that would help our little babies? And they did some research and found snuffle mats they weren't new at the time. This was about 5 years ago. They weren't new at the time. They were just kind of coming to the market, but they noticed that most of the mats out there were a little substandard to whatever their idea of an ideal snuffle mat was. So they hired a team of designers and worked with a manufacturer out of China. All of our products are actually manufactured in China, and they put together these different mats. One of the things that I think we might talk about a little later, I'm just going to jump ahead, is something that's a little different about our mats, is that a lot of mats that you see out there are either going to be uniform. And when I say uniform, not just in color, but also in texture. So you'll see like a round mat that just has a bunch of loose fabric on there. Ours is a little different. So ours are kind of unique because they have different textures. And so one of our mats we call the fun house is kind of like a fun house. You go to like one section of the mat, it has a bunch of different pockets. Another one has little pouches. Another one just has some loose fabric. And so that's a great thing about our mats, which it a little differentiates from others. Not just the color, but also the different textures. And that's why we kind of consider ourselves a little more unique than others.
Can I show everybody what some of these? I mean, these are amazing. And when he's talking about different areas to play with, I mean, these. Yeah, thank you, Hillary. These are incredible mats, and I love the designs. You guys are so creative. You come up with pizzas and all kinds of fun fun styles. This is a huge sunflower with all kinds of folds you can hide treats in, and then all these little fleecy kind of fingers you can hide treats in, and then there's just little pockets and all kinds of goodness off to the side where you can tuck little things in and have your pup explore and try and find. I mean, this would be just an amazing toy for your pups to play with. I just think they're so fun. And then I've got another one here. I just have to show. I'm if you can't tell, I love blue and white. So this one that we got, I love it. It's called Waves. It's so cool. Look at all the colors, all the different fun things. And these even have different kinds of pockets and little kind of puzzly activity spaces as well, which I think is really cool. So they're all different. All your mats have, all these different designs, different areas to play and explore. And I just think they're fantastic. It's so fun.
And that one also has little straps on it so you can roll it up. It makes it easy to like take with you and things. So.
Exactly. Or you could tie it to a chair so it doesn't, drag along the floor if your pup's playing. It's got nice little rubber backing on it as well. So that'll help keep it in place. And the material is really fluffy. In fact, before we started, and this is, I guess, right after we started, Ginger was curling up in this because it's so soft and fluffy. She was just curling up in it as though, and she's actually just did that with the other one right now. So she's curling up in these like their little doggy beds. So I just love that. It's so much fun. They're really sweet.
Well, I think my job is done. I think the interview is done, and you guys did a great job of promoting our mats. That's fantastic.
So I guess, we were going to talk about like the definition of a snuffle mat. I mean, we've done some tutorials with our audience on just bare bones, basic, very super homemade, kind of DIY, easy little tutorials on how to make a snuffle mat. But for those that aren't familiar, I guess, can we kind of just define what that snuffle mat is?
Yeah, I'd love to. So you kind of alluded a lot to it and showed a visual of it. It's basically just a mat. It's like a rug. It's designed out of just soft fabric. It's fleece, actually. Has different loose fabrics and some pockets and pouches. And it's just an enrichment tool more than anything else. So it helps stimulate your pet's senses. They go around, and dogs are just natural foragers. And so they just go around and use their snout to go sniff for their little treats and their food. They go through, it's really designed to simulate like grass and being out in the wild.
Okay.
So that's kind of what the whole base is for that. And so they go around it. It helps develop their brain. It helps keep them entertained. Which is very important. Some of the other benefits, I don't know if we can talk about that now, but are kind of what we were talking, aside from the boredom, getting rid of the boredom, it helps with slow feeding. And that's one of the problems that one of the founders had, is a lot of dogs and cats eat too fast. And I do the same thing. Maybe I need a snuffle mat, but
I know I probably do too.
So it helps to slow that down a little bit, and helps, so they're able to digest their food a little better. They actually chew in their food and eating it. And another great thing about snuffle mats during the COVID time was, as we keep alluding to, is it was great to keep them entertained. But even afterwards, now COVID is kind of hopefully getting better, and people are starting to go out more and get back to work. Well, now there's going to be some anxiety that we're going to have to get over with the animals. And so this will actually help alleviate some of that anxiety. It helps reduce the stress. It gives the dog something to do, or the cat, I should say, but it gives your pet something to do, and just takes their mind off of the whole fact of that they're either alone or that they're bored.
Right. One of the things that I noticed, because I was people that may be familiar with my pup, my Basset Hound Lulu, she's a relatively timid dog. And so using snuffle mats or things with treats, things that can get her nose working, is one of the ways that has kind of brought her out of her shell. So if you have some dogs that have some anxieties, those sorts of things, working with treats, working with those kind of brain games can really help to build their confidence. And if they get those kind of quick wins where you're making it pretty easy for them at first, because you have all these different textures that are possible in that mat. So you could just kind of sprinkle treats on top of that kind of fluffy area, make it really easy for them to get some quick wins. Once they start to get a little bit more confident and are willing to hunt a little bit more, then you can start using those pockets and those pouches, things that are a little bit tougher for them. Absolutely. And it really does, it will bring them out of their shell. It's amazing to see kind of that transformation come. So I definitely think it's a great one for using that nose first, because that's what dogs are going to see the world with their nose first. So it's a great way, like, let's start with what they're using anyways.
Yeah. One other thing you mentioned, Lulu, and for those of you who don't know if I'm able to share, but the Lulu currently has a little bit of a mobility issue. So it really helps with dogs and cats that have mobility issues. They may have medical issues or surgeries. And as you mentioned, I mean, it's great because they can get their nose in there and start being a little more active. So it really helps. They don't have to really go and walk around for their food. They can just kind of do it all right there. So
right. Yeah, it's been she got to use it today, and it was a great recovery. Like, she was so excited to see it, and it was a great recovery tool. So she's definitely getting back to her old self again. It's great to have a toy that can help kind of bring that out. So
that's wonderful to hear.
And lastly, as we just learned, it could be used as a nap blanket. So there you go, multi-purpose.
Yeah, no, these are really soft and fluffy. They're very high quality, I have to say. Like this, I'm really impressed with these mats for sure. And honestly, I've only had this for about an hour or two. So this is a brand new, like, I've never seen the Enjoya mats, and these are just fantastic. I really, really love them. Ginger is curled up in the other one right now. So, I mean, she loves them. We don't even have treats in them yet. So yeah, I'm really excited to get Ginger using this and playing with it and having all kinds of fun. Daniel and Megan, thanks so much for Daniel's here on his lunch hour with us. So thank you for spending time with us. And hi, Megan, and everybody else that's watching. It's great to have you here. Again, we kind of talked about the creative aspect of what you guys do with all the different types of mats. Can you tell us, like, what are some of the more, and I know they change out by season and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, some of these might not be currently available, but what are some of the fun designs that you guys have come up with? I'm just curious to know.
Well, so this season, one of the more popular ones, if not the most popular one, it's one that we're calling the vegetable garden. Much like all of our other mats.
Great.
It's very colorful. It's got a lot of textures to it. And so it's a lot of fun. If you go onto our website, you'll be able to see that one. The Funhouse is the other one. It comes in 3 different colors, 3 different textures. And so those are probably the 2 more popular ones. And then in no specific order, we have one that's called the dinner table. One that's called the cookie, because it kind of looks like a cookie supplement. It comes in a few different colors, but that one is more designed for a heavy chewer. So if you have a pet that really just kind of can tear a toy apart really quickly, it's a little tighter weave, and it's not just a loose.
Wonderful.
So it's a little better for dogs that chew a little harder, maybe even a larger breed dog. So those are kind of the more popular ones. For this next wave, we had this incredible response to a recent trade show. So we kind of sold out of almost everything that we had. This next wave of back orders, though, surprisingly, we are seeing a little shift. And so we're seeing a shift on a couple of mats that weren't as popular at the beginning of the year, but one is called the Sunflower. And it looks like a sunflower. It's yellow around the edges and then brown in the middle, just like a sunflower. And one it's a round one that's called a lion, because it's kind of got the face of a lion on there. So those are the 2 that we've seen our orders picking up on those 2 as well. So along with the other 3 that I mentioned, those 2 are coming in right behind them.
I love that. I love that. And it's fun, you know, as a pet parent to when you get one and your pup's played with it for a while and then they've kind of gotten used to solving the puzzle, to get a different one in a different shape or style or color, and have, you know, it's kind of a new puzzle for your pup to figure out how to solve, which I think is really fun to kind of just get new designs all the time, which is really cool.
If I may, one thing that we've introduced this season, or we're calling them the feeding toys, snuffle feeding toys. It's a similar material. It's nice soft material. They're basically just kind of like stuffed toys, stuffed animal kind of toys. And they're the same concept. You put your treats in there, you hide your treats in there, and you'll actually see, I wish I had some photos, but you'll actually see dogs like hugging these and taking a nap with them. Really cute. And they, you know, we have a pineapple, we have a crab, we have what's a popular one? The turtle is the most popular one right now. So they're a lot of fun. So those not only do you have mats, but we have snuffle feeding toys as well that are.
I love that idea. Oh, that's so fantastic. I love. That's great. That's great. So Cherokee thinks that this is a really cute mat. Cherokee, they're all like, I think you couldn't go wrong with whatever one you get. These are all amazing. Thank you. And then Megan says her dogs love using their noses to search for food. It's a great way to work their brains for mental stimulation, as well as slow their eating habits. So I think that's so true. It's definitely things that we've been kind of talking about. And if I live in a climate where it's really cold, Hillary, I guess you do too. And when the snow's piled high or the temperatures have just dropped and plummeted and you just don't want to go out, or your pups can't stay out long, things like this are just really great, basically tools as parents, right? To be able to give to our pups, to help keep their brains going, so they're not just couch potatoes when the weather's bad. So I just really love that. I think it's really cool.
So you mentioned some customer pictures with some of the feeding toys, but do you have a favorite customer story that you could share with us?
Yeah. So, I was thinking about that. We were talking about that a little bit, and I just don't have a favorite customer story. One that really, I guess it's not a favorite. Well, maybe it is, because it really sticks out in my mind. I had a relationship with a local municipality employee. And she shared with me, she was nice enough to share with me a contact that she had with a local animal shelter. And so we were able to, a large part of our proceeds now, I think we advertised 10%, but now it's a little more than that, go to our nonprofit partners. And so we are able to fortunately donate snuffle mats to a lot of the animal shelters and nonprofit organizations out there. And so that introduction, that relationship led to not just that one, but other branches, not just animal shelters, but other like dog parks, like surprisingly have this new concept where you would think you would just go and let the dogs run free, but no, they actually have a couple of snuffle mats that they will allow. And I don't know if it's common everywhere, but there are a couple of dog parks that you can actually just borrow these snuffle mats for your dog to feed while they're there. And then of course they wash them and after every use. But which is a great point. All of our snuffle mats are machine washable, so it makes them very easy to maintain. And so that I think that was kind of it, is just any time we get to work with any of our nonprofit partners, I think is probably the most rewarding for us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And it's such especially for shelters and things like that, where those dogs are, getting that extra mental stimulation when they're in that situation can really make all the difference, because it can kind of bring their anxiety levels down and make them more adoptable too. So it hopefully will keep them from having to stay in those shelters longer as well.
Right. Exactly. So we've kind of had all kinds. Well, one of the other things besides washable that I do want to mention, we probably should use dry treats, right? For this. So not any kind of wet food or anything like that, but dry treats. And I do love the fact that these are washable. I think that's fantastic. Some of the ones that Hillary and I have made are not washable in our little tutorial. So I love the idea that these can be washed. I think it's great. So I just wanted to ask, we talked about lots of fun designs. Do you have any kind of fun things coming up in the future? And maybe things that you've just mentioned, but that you're all looking forward to bringing to the world of pet parents?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. For the past year and a half, we have served as what's called a original design manufacturer. And basically all that means is our factory, the designers at our factory, it's just open to everyone. We kind of serve as an OEM. So you'll see some of our mats similar to our mats. There's a little nuanced differences online. You won't see any in retail stores here in North America. But this upcoming year in 2022, we're actually going to move back to designing our mats 100% exclusive for Enjoya. So that's something that we're looking forward to. We will still have some that are the ODMs, and so you'll be able to see similar mats elsewhere, but probably not a lot of that. So that's something. The other thing that we're really trying to take into account is more of the dogs with that might have more anxiety and similar to like a human being, mental health issues. It might be a little harder to train. We are working with some designers and psychologists to try to come up with products that will really help enrich those animals as well and kind of get them out of that. You can't really talk therapy a dog, but you can definitely work with the dog through play therapy and different things. And so we want to incorporate that and utilize that psychology into some of the toys that we're designing in the future.
Oh, I love
That's wonderful. That is great.
That
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to save lives, you know.
I hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah, we're looking forward to
Fantastic.
that.
That is wonderful. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it's especially with dogs with trauma and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd really love to be able to help them.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a dog in a shelter. I mean, something traumatic can happen, like your house could catch on fire or something terrible,
Exactly.
right? An owner could pass away and that dog
Yep.
could really be, you know, greatly affected by it and
Yeah.
have the ability to kind of work through it through play and something that's non-threatening and relaxing and that they could take at their own pace and all of that. I think it's just fantastic. I love that
Yeah.
idea. Really cool. I haven't heard of that anywhere else. So I hope you guys are really, really successful at it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
We're excited about it.
That's great. Well, where else can our audience go to find out more about Enjoya?
Well, of course, there's our website, www.enjoya. It's INJOYA.com. Yeah, basically, it's just inspiring joy in animals is where Enjoya came
I
from.
love that.
So enjoya.com. We do have a Facebook page and a Instagram, Enjoya_pets. So please,
Okay.
feel free to look us up there. And I am ashamed of this, but I am not a TikToker and I'm not a TikTok generation. I know we're on TikTok and I know we have videos on TikTok. I can tell you our address for the life of me. That's terrible. I shouldn't say that out loud. But
that's all right. We'll just go investigate Enjoya Pets.
We're also on TikTok as well. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Please, for those of you who are much better and savvy at technology than me, yes.
That's great. Well, is there anything else you wanted to chat about before we kind of wrap up our conversation? I think we've hit all the high points.
No, I think this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to kind of share about what we're doing and really excited about it.
You bet. You bet. And we're happy to have you on. And we've got Caitlin here. She said she loves the fact that you guys donate part of the product for charities. I think that's a huge thing as well. I think a lot of pet parents look for products that do that, right? So that they, there's kind of that giving back, which I think is really huge.
Yeah.
And then Cherokee said she's going to be running right now to go to the website and tell all her friends about it. So thank you, Cherokee.
Oh, thank you, Cherokee.
Love that. Love that. That's great. So before we wrap up today, we have some giveaway winners, thanks to the generosity of Jason. So thank you, Jason, for this. We have 3 lucky winners who have promoted this show for earlier this week for today to announce. And our first giveaway winner is Georgie Felix. Congratulations, Georgie. Yay, Georgie. And we have Barbara Pacific. Thank you, Barbara, for letting the world know about us. Thank you. And then Alyssa Clark. So yay, Alyssa. Congratulations to all the winners. Jason will be sending you one of the snuffle mats. So might be this one, might be a different one, but you're going to have an awesome, wonderful interactive dog toy for your pups to play with. So congratulations.
Awesome.
And I'll get in touch with you directly and we'll get all your information and we'll get it sent out to you right away. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. It was so much fun having you here with us, Jason.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely love what you're doing. Our audience goes nuts over these. We do. Ginger is still curled up in her other one. So yeah, these are really great. And obviously Lulu is benefiting from it as well. So thank you so much for all you guys do.
Thank you so much.
Really huge thing. So thank you. All right.
Thanks,
Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.